Hello everyone, this is Jess. So it's almost the end of this year, and I think it should be a good time for me to review, do some summary of the fountain pen experience I had so far this year. I do have a pen log written in my comment planner for this year, but in this log I'm logging the pens I bought, but you can see that the first fountain pen I got in this round was October last year, so I barely rekindled my hobby of using fountain pens a year or so. So I would consider myself still a beginner, or maybe like a experienced beginner or advanced beginner maybe. But I think after this year, I have been quite deep in this hobby, and I have obtained quite a lot of fountain pens so far. Some of them I enjoy, some of them I kind of doubt about them, and there are some hits and misses, but so far I have still been very much into this hobby. So right now I would like to just show briefly what I have and some of the experience I have this year, just to do a little bit of summary basically for myself as well. So in terms of the pen cases, or like the fountain pens I'm currently using, I have this Galen Letter 10 pen case, which filled with my currently inked pens. So these are some of the pens I use regularly, almost daily. And this Twist Eco has been inked since I got it for about this time last year till now. So this is definitely one of my most used pen, longest inked pen in my collection. I still very much enjoy it. It's an EF nib. And so this is one of my currently inked pen case. And I also have this 3-pin pen case I got from China. This is something that I think some Amazon pretty much have quite a few of some version of this pen case on sale. But these are my pen case. I would call it on the go. I like fast, quick on the go pen case. But like these are also inked, so I kind of exchange things inside these two pen case when I do want to use them. Like depends on the day. I think other than those, I have a Pilot Cavalier inked up. Since I got it, I put this in my everyday carry drawer pouch, just to use it on the go. And also I think this is such a quick pen to grab and use to do some if I want to use a fountain pen in my note pages or my time blocker journal. That is such a good pen to have. And I also have this Wake Shop pen case. I don't use as much as I want to. It's kind of housing some of the random pens I also inked up, but I don't grab these as often. But yeah, they're in here. Just I kind of toss it in my stationery buckets here and there. There is also a Kaweco case. There are 2 Kawecos inside. They have like a cardboard or foam padded slots for 2 pens. So I have a brass and art sport in hickory brown. Both of these are 5 nibs. So I already cleaned out the art sport, but this brass is still inked up. I don't grab this one as often either, but since I have a fresh cartridge in there, I don't want to just toss it out. I still want to try to use it sometimes. And other than those, I have a Molten 6-pen pen case here. Oh, these pens are some of my recently cleaned out pens. I put them in here. And I have this velvet leather case. I got from China, and this is housing some of my pretty pens, or like the pens I want to take out and admire. Yeah, a bunch of Narwhal, Nautilus, and Voyage pens, basically, with very nice resin body or ebonite body for this one, which is a red ebonite body. Yeah. And the ultimate home for the rest of my pens is in this gigantic 40-pen case. I got this one from Amazon as well. This is basically just something I put for longer time storage. If I don't seem to grab it in the foreseeable future, I just store them in this pen case. So yeah, I do have quite some. I mean, if I had to count, I'm definitely exceeding the 40 pens that can be held in this pen case. Yeah, and a lot of the pens in here I don't use as often. Some of them are even not inked at all. I think quite a few of these Jinhaos are brand new, including the Lamy Vista. These two are all brand new. I haven't inked them yet. This pen BBS pen, and this Hongdian. I haven't inked up either. Yeah, so these are kind of like, when I buy them, I just bought them because I want to have them, but I don't use them as much. I'll take this preppy out. So to talk about the pens I obtained this year, I think there is a theme that I find myself like learn from my experience, is that I was certainly trying to test out the pens for their certain properties, but it may ends up being the ones that I want. So I kind of not gravitate to it anymore. So those are some of my experience. And also there are pens that I enjoy so much, and I like enhance this hobby and just keep me going to try to test out more. I think I want to talk about some of the so-called disappointment I experienced this year and how I compensate those disappointments with other pens. One of the disappointment I had earlier this year, which I've actually posted a YouTube video and got quite some view. It's one of my most viewed videos on this channel so far. It's about the Pilot A23, and I compared that pen with this Asvine V126, and my conclusion there was I heard quite some good things about the Pilot A23, but that experience has not given me the joy or like what I expected. I think I sold that pen quite a long time ago, but when I think back, I think some of the things I don't really like about the pen is, so first of all, that vacuum feel is just not as good as some of my other vacuum feel. I don't know what the problem was, because I do have this Asvine and A23 is a vacuum filler. I also have the Narwhal Original Plus, which is also a vacuum fill. These pens I have no problem using. There's no issue of ink flow at all. So I'm not sure what's wrong about the Pilot. I think the other thing is I was expecting the nib to be performed better than I eventually got. So it was fine nib. It does rise like a medium, but it kind of get a little bit scratchy on certain angle. That's why I end up not really enjoying that pen. But something actually caught my eyes later in the year, and this is a Pilot Custom 643. So in dimension, the 823 and the 643 are almost identical, and the nib size are the same too. So they are both the Pilot number 15, so it's equivalent to a number 6 nib. And this 743 is a cartridge converter pen, and I got it in a Falcon nib. I think this pen just gave me so much more pleasure compared to the 823. So, I mean, for myself, I think the vacuum filler with big ink capacity is actually not a very big sell. But this Falcon on a 643 actually gives me more, like, better experience in terms of writing with a high-end Pilot pen. Yeah, and also I have a soft fine Pilot nib in this 642. So this is a Pilot number 10 nib, so it's slightly smaller than the 15. I think this soft fine, it doesn't bounce as much, but it definitely gives some characters to my writing, which I also enjoy. But this like fine is what I expected from a Pilot fine. So I think I enjoy these two Pilots way more than the Pilot Custom 823. But if you have 823 and you enjoyed it, that would be great. That was just my experience anyway. Yeah, so that's this one. Some other pens I got this year I would consider quite a disappointment was the Leonardo Memento Zero Grande 2.0. I no longer have that pen in my possession anymore because one of the things is that pen is way too girthy for me. It's too thick for daily use. And also, it turns out I don't like the resin on that pen, despite that pattern is very beautiful. I think there are a few parts in that pen doesn't have colorful resin feel. It looks transparent, which I don't think that would be an issue for me if I like other parts of the resin. I don't know, it just like that blue was quite, I don't know, flat maybe to me. So it's not like I don't like blue pens. So for the Pelican 800, I specifically pick a blue. It's not like I don't like blue pens, but like that for some reason, the reason on that pen is just not as appealing to me. So for comparison, something I obtained that I'm happy about are this Delta Duna in red abalone, and I recently got a resale, the Radius what exactly is the model name? I don't remember. And this is the Bohemian Twilight. So these two, I mentioned this pen because, to my understanding, the Radius is currently, the manufacturer of Radius and Leonardo are basically the same company, maybe? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I see them advertise their products. Well, I would say that these two kind of have the similar style of pens. Both have like the slightly corneal top and bottom. And of course, the Duna is a piston filler, just like the Momento Zero Grande 2.0, but this one is a cartridge converter. Nonetheless, the shape of these pens are very similar to that Leonardo, but these two definitely have like more appealing resin pattern for me personally. I really like the pattern of these resins. And yeah, I think these are, and also these are slightly skinnier compared to the Momento Zero Grande. So these are more like my more comfortable writing size of pens. Yeah, so I kind of enjoy these pen more than the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0, which I pre-ordered, and I was expecting so much from it, and I was kind of underwhelmed by the pen when I actually got it. There's nothing wrong with how it writes. It just like if I'm going to buy a more expensive resin pen, I want the resin to be something I would appreciate for a long time, basically. Yeah, so that's that one. So the next pen I kind of get a little bit disappointed is the Winston 600, which is, I mean, I'm a little bit sad about this pen because first of all, the pen itself is very well built by like when I look at the body. So this is an ebonite body with a lot of details like in the finials and in the trim. And the nib is a very big number 8 size nib. So the problem with this pen is I think the iron dies, the trim or plating on top of this pen does not stay on there very well. So the other day when I take it apart, the back of the nib seems almost the plating almost came off. So I don't see the rose gold trim in the inside of the pen anymore, which is quite disappointing. And so this pen, since I bought it from China and their manufacturer and their factory and their like customer service are all in China, it's impossible for me to, at least not easy for me to get it fixed at this point. And I did contact them. They asked me to maybe wipe it with a toothpaste or something to try to get the little bit like rusty things off. It's quite disappointing since it is a more expensive pen. This is also sold on AliExpress. So when I asked them, they confirmed me that this is the only problem with the rose gold plating, and they have been implementing some new plating ironizing method in the future, so this wouldn't happen in the future, which I cannot confirm at this point. But I mean, I still really like the pen by the look of it. This is such a beautiful ebonite body pen. But I just seems that kind of a little bit hiccup just kind of prevent me from using it in the future. But I also have the Winston 631. This is also ebonite pen, but like slightly skinnier without all this like detailed trimming. This pen actually still works very, very well. And this, I believe this is a gold trim pen. This doesn't seem to have any of the flaking of the plating problem. And it has been inked with a noodler ink, which is kind of sticky, but this pen seems holds up so kind of fine for now. I guess I don't want to like speak too early about how they will perform in long term, but I do hope that like Winston I would consider it such a reputable company in the Chinese pen user community. I do want them to be able to hold up as much as possible. So they are providing very good, if they can keep providing good gold nib pens, because their nib grinds are very specifically interesting. So if you can see that this one has a heartbeat, they call it heartbeat nib, and they also have a Jun'ao, what they call a Junfeng, which is kind of like a, so it does give you some variation. It's not as much as a fude or a little bit as a long blade, or what's that word, architect nib, but it's slightly different from all of those. You kind of have to ride with it to experience it. But I do love how these pen rides. It's just that the flaking off of the trim kind of disappointing to me. So I will put these back in my pen case. Yeah. So I haven't get their newer pens, and I realized Winston actually released even bigger, better like pen nib, like a bigger pen, even titanium, with a titanium body. The pen nib is even bigger than this one. I will think about whether or not if I want to get it, but it looks interesting. I just don't know how heavy that could be. Yeah. So the next disappointing pen I got this year, which kind of stopped me from buying pens on AliExpress altogether. It's not really dramatic, but yeah, I kind of start to rethink about the hobby I am in at this moment. Is this iMark M800? So you, from the name, and you can definitely see that this is a direct copy of the Pelican M800. I mean, like, they kind of copy it to the T's. Even the clip looks almost identical. Yeah, this bends, and this is also like a piston filler. This pen came in with the nib like misaligned, which is kind of disappointing, and it was fitted with a Bach nib. I think the problem is not that the pen doesn't write well. It's because like the resin looks like underwhelming, or like not very detailed, and the nib was okay. Being a Bach nib, it's still okay. It's not scratchy at all. It's still smooth, but the nib's feed, the feed of the nib seems not really catching up with how I write it. And when I tried to clean it to change ink, I got into a big problem of not able to put the piston back. So, and this was sold for like $50 when I bought it. It was kind of overpriced, in my opinion, for what it is. I think, then I mean, I start to realize that I need to, for the pens that I don't have a very good experience with, I need to at least find a few reviews before I purchase them, so I can have a better idea of what it is, because that was exactly the same time. I think at least 2 channels. I will put a I'll post some pictures here. Like at least the 2 channels actually reviewed this pen when I was like purchasing it. So I should have watched their review before I jump in to buy it. But I don't think there was a totally bad experience, because from breaking and fixing this pen, I learned how to change the nibs, change the housing, and also how to open a piston, how to fix a piston as far as I can. Of course, there are some situations where I cannot. If some parts like completely broken, there's impossible for me. I don't have the tools to fix it if that's the case. But if it's only open and I cannot screw the thread back in, I kind of practice those things on this pen. And something else I got later, which I actually appreciate and enjoy way more, was this pen, BBS pen. So this is their piston filler number 456. I don't know if you can see from the camera, but this cracked resin has definitely more depth and substance compared to this cracked resin. So I really like how pen BBS nibs writes. They kind of have a very like their nibs are kind of bouncy, and that give you a lot of characters. They are called their blade fine nibs, which they have a little bit of like slightly tilt grind at the tip, and this thread and this piston are so smooth. I have no issue like filling it and cleaning it and take it apart and put them back together. I really like pen BBS pens. So this is one I have been using for now, and there's another two. There are actually a few more pen BBS pens I have in my collection. So first is the like a completely golden colored. What number is this? 499. This is quite heavy, so I don't think I will use it too often. Wait. So it's a snap closure. But yeah, this is also, though these nibs are all their blade fine nibs. This will look kind of cool. And this is the 456. And this is their, I think this is their piston filler, is the 355. 355, yes. Did I say this is a piston? This is a vacuum filler. Yeah. 355 in the colorway Galaxy, which is also kind of cool. And this is their cartridge converter. The number is 480. Yeah. So this is kind of like a transparent with some colors of blue and brown in it. Yeah, and white. Yeah. And what I like, some details about pen BBS pen is that they keep the shape of their clip for all of their pens the same shape, which I appreciate. This is something I really appreciate for pen BBS. It's kind of giving you a sense of branding, which I do hope Winston can do something similar. Maybe not exactly the same clip, but keep a theme going on with their pens. That'll be better. And the last disappointment I got this year was this Coeco Art Sport in the colorway Hickory Brown, I should say. So I have 3 Coecos. This iridescent pearl was my first one, and then this one, and then the brass. For whatever reason, because like these two are both pre-owned, and I got it brand new from Amazon, but it was on sale. All of these 3 are fine nibs. Coeco by itself is not a bad pen for me. Like my experience with the nibs themselves are all pretty good, and I'm okay with they have a small ink capacity, because I can use like ink cartridges from Diamond or other companies just to use with these. The issue I have with this art sports is the sealing of the cap seems not being very well. So sometimes I don't use this pen daily. Later when I have this inked, simply because I have a lot of other pens to use. But I start to realize that whenever I took this pen out, it always had a hard start. I suspect it was because of the sealing of the cap was not good. I used the cartridge of diamond chocolate brown in this pen, which I used in a few other pens before. This has been working fine, but this just always give me a hard start. So I'm assuming that's just the sealing is not very well. I still like this brass. I still like this brass pen very much. I think the weightiness of this is very good, and I think to have a pen that can patina over time is some very interesting concept to to have around like a just being around. Yeah, so I don't think there's a major issue with the nibs of Kaweco for me. And maybe in the future, if I still want to use this pen, I will find some other ways to use a converter so it holds less ink, or use a bigger nib like a stub or something, so that the flow will be bigger to prevent the constant dry up. I think those are some of my disappointment of this year and how I resolve those disappointment with the other stuff I obtained. There are also a few other things I just simply want to mention because how much I like them. So first was, again, I'm going to pull this pen out again. So this is a Pilot Cavalier. It is very skinny, so people who doesn't like slender pens may not enjoy using this. But this seals very well, and the nib performs superb. This is steel nib, which performs almost like a bouncy gold nib for me, and then it looks very chic and very professional. So I really like to have this on the go. It never has any leaking issue. Never had any hard starts. I have been using the Pilot black cartridge inside this pen for quite some time. I think I've used up at least 3 or 4 the ink cartridge inside this pen. And the other pen, of course, I'm still gonna mention my Pelikan M600. Oh, this is kind of like a what's that word? I'm looking for a word that kind of like enlighten me, maybe. Is that a word I was looking for? So this is one of the earlier pen I obtained that's had a higher price tag, and I got it secondhand. It's already discounted, but it was still a quite pricey pen for me. And I think from this pen I realized that it's better to save and invest in a good pen, a classic pen that will consistently deliver good writing experience than having a whole bunch of cheaper, flashier, in trendy pens. I think that was kind of like what this pen has taught me. And I feel like since then I have been more resistant to those flashier, trendier pen, but more interested in getting more substantial writing experience from my purchases. Well, granted, I did buy quite a lot of pen after this, but I mean, at least I'm way more aware right now of my pens. And there are a few other pens I just want to mention because I think they're kind of in the same category. So I have this Sailor Fude pen here. And then this is a Pelikan 200, which has a oblique broad nib. And also, so this is a London Pen Co. pen, which also has a stub nib from Bach. I think these are some of the pens. Oh, and also, before I forgot, I have this pen from from the fountain pen revolution. I don't think I have the original nib in here for now. No, this is a different nib. But I got this pen with their Ultra Flex nib. I fitted in this Asfine P50. So this is their fountain pen revolution Ultra Flex nib. So these pens give me the writing experience that I find very, very different from what I used to have a uniform line throughout and have a lot of variations and then make my handwriting looks interesting and let me experience different nib sizes, nib grinds. So these are kind of open my options to experience different nib sizes, nib grind. Yeah, so I will just put these out and appreciate them as they kind of taught me how much enjoyment I can get from handwriting with fountain pens. So I think with that, that's pretty much the end of this video. So if you have any questions, recommendations, or things you want to point out, let me know in the comments about that. Thank you very much. Bye.